Good morning. We will pay attention to transactions with creditors today. We've already dealt with credit purchases that was recorded in the creditors journal and returns to creditors that was recorded in the creditors allowances journal. So today we will look at payment of account when we issue a check to pay our creditor. When the account of a creditor is paid, a check is issued. The amount on the check and the discount, so both the payment and the discount, because you settled in time, will decrease the creditor. So we will owe less money because our liabilities will decrease. First of all, we will record this check in the cash payments journal, and we will record the number on the checks to show which checks was issued to which creditor, the name of the creditor. In the bank column, you will record the amount that's written on the check, so that's the total amount. In the discount column, we will enter the amount that we received as discount. And in the creditors column, we will add the check amount plus the discount amount together to see what is the total amount that must reduce my creditors. So the 2,700 plus the 300 will reduce the creditors with 3,000 Rand. 1,800 plus 180 will reduce the creditors with 1,980. On a daily basis, we will record the entries in our creditors ledger. So in the previous two exercises, we've already recorded purchases on credit and we recorded the purchases returns. When we record this payment, we will show that a check was issued, so the check and the number must appear in the creditors ledger. We transfer the information from the cash payments journal. A creditor is a liability that increases on the credit side, decreases on the debit side. So we will debit the account to reduce the amount that we owe to the creditor. So 5,000 minus 2,700 will give me 2,300. Then I will also record the discounts. I will show on this check 112, we received 300 Rand discount. The 300 Rand will reduce the balance, so 2,300 minus 300, and now our outstanding debt is 2,000. For Hatfield Traders, we also issued a check for 1,800, so we will decrease our debt on the debit side. 3,400 minus the 1,800 gives me 1,600. And then we will also record the 180 Rand discount that we received on this check number 113. And if I work out the balance, 1,600 minus 180, it gives me a balance of 1,420. So we prepare a schedule of all the balances in the creditors ledger. And we see that DE Traders, we owe them 2,000 Rand at the end of the month. Hatfield Traders, we owe 1,420 a month. And if we add the two together, my total debt, according to the debtors list, is 3,420. Now, if no mistakes were made, then the balance in the creditors control account must equal the total in this creditors ledger list, because all the individual entries are posted to the individual account of the creditors in the creditors ledger, and the totals are posted to the creditors control account, so the two must be equal, otherwise you made a mistake somewhere. If we look at the general ledger, we already recorded the credit purchases and the creditors allowances in the two previous lessons. So now we show that the total amount that was taken out of the bank was 4,500, and we will show that our creditors control must be debited with 4,980, and that includes the discount. So it means my discount received account will be credited with 480. So the amount that we paid, the 4,500, and the discount that we received, 480, will be recorded on the debit side of the creditors control column to show that the creditors decreased with the total amount. Because this amount in your creditors control is not only recorded in one account, it's recorded in two accounts, you will show that some of that money will be on the credit side of the bank and some of the money will be in the discount received account. Then I balance my creditors control account, so I add up the credit side, subtract the debit side, and determine what is the difference between the debit and the credit side, and I bring down that balance 3420. And if we go back to the schedule, what did we see there? That the creditors ledger has a total of 3420. The balance that I calculated in my creditors control account, I will show there, and both those amounts must then be the same. What did we learn today? Invoices is received from creditors when we buy goods on credit, and the invoices are used to record the entries in the creditors journal. Debit notes are issued to the creditor when goods are returned or a request is made for an allowance. The business in return will receive a credit note from the creditor, and that is used to record it in the creditor's allowances journal. Checks are issued to creditors to pay the accounts. The check counterfoil is the piece that remains in the check, and that check counterfoil are used to record payments to creditors in the cash payments journal. The entries in the creditors journal, creditors allowances journal, and cash payments journal are posted to the individual accounts of the creditors in the creditors ledger. And this is done on a daily basis so that you can see every day how much money you owe to the individual creditors and how long do you owe the money. Because some of them can charge interest if you don't pay within a certain time, so you want to prevent those extra expenses and pay in time. Or other creditors can allow additional discount if you pay in time, so you want to benefit from the quick payment so that you can get that additional discount. The entries in all three of these journals are posted to the general ledger to complete the double entries. So the creditors control account is used to record the total purchases, so the total purchases column in the journal, total returns, and the total payments for the month. The total of all the outstanding amounts in the creditors ledger must equal the balance in the creditors control account. If they don't equal, it means that you made a mistake somewhere and you will have to go and find the mistake. So that is why we call it a creditors control account, because it controls all the entries that was completed in the creditors ledger.